We're going to start off our abdominal practice with some half rollbacks. So with the legs nice and straight and strong, the toes are lifted. We'll take the arms out long in front of the chest. With a breath in, we sit nice and tall and tighten into the core. And with the breath out, we draw the pubic bone towards the belly button and start to roll halfway back. A breath in, we hold here as we're leaning. And a breath out, leading with your chest lifting back up. Inhaling and then exhaling. Inhale and then exhale. We'll go just 3 more times. And we'll start to lean all the way back on this last one, down to the mat. So leaning all the way back, rolling through the spine. Then down on the back, we'll bend through the knees, planting the feet so that the feet and the knees are at hip distance apart. The hands are going to go behind the head with the elbows just in your peripheral vision, and we're doing some abdominal curls. So we start with that exhale breath as we lift through the head and the shoulders, gazing at the knees, and then inhale breath to lower back down. So we exhale and inhale, really trying to allow that exhale breath to slide the ribs down towards the hips, helping you to lift up. Bringing your belly button towards the spine, tightening through your core. We'll go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering back down through the head and the shoulders, taking the hands closer towards your hips, imprinting through the spine, so finding that slight posterior tilt through the pelvis, drawing the abdominals down, so you're trying to press your lower back in towards the mat. Then lifting one foot up at a time into tabletop, the shins are parallel towards the ceiling, knees stacked above the hips, and still at hip distance apart for this exercise, our toe taps. So keeping that 90-degree angle at the knee joint, using your hip as a hinge to tap the right toes down, then lift back to tabletop, over to the left, and then tabletop. Using that exhale breath to tap. And here, if you would also like to target some of those upper abdominals within the rectus abdominis, you're welcome to take your hands behind the head and lift through your head and your shoulders. Ten, 9, 8, 1, back into tabletop, single leg stretch. So we start off with that right leg, we extend through the leg, then draw back in, extending through the opposite and then back in. Here, if this is too much to go closer down towards the mat, you're more than welcome to find more of that 45-degree angle. But using that exhale breath to extend through the legs, so making sure that you're not arching through your back here as you extend. And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to tabletop, hands go behind the head, lifting through the head and the shoulders into crisscrosses. So we bend through one leg while extending through the other, but now crisscrossing through the torso. So sort of like our oblique curls, we draw the shoulder towards the opposite hip. 7, 6, 5, 1. Lowering back down here just for a moment, finding a little stretch. If you would like to, reaching your arms up long above your head and extending your legs out long towards the base of the mat. Just taking a couple of breaths here. Then releasing from your full body stretch, drawing the feet back in. For our next exercise, it will be our hundreds. So as always, you're welcome to keep your feet planted down on the mat. Otherwise, imprinting through the spine, drawing your feet up into tabletop position and keeping the feet and the knees glued in together. Or for our third option, extending the legs up long, flexing into the feet and externally rotating the legs. We'll take the arms up towards the ceiling so that the pads of the hands are facing down towards the knees. Inhale, breath at the bottom here. And exhale, breath lifting through the head and the shoulders. We'll inhale at the top. And then we'll beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Halfway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful. Lowering through your head and your shoulders back down. We'll keep the arms up towards the ceiling here and find some beats. So now we're going to lift up through the head and the shoulders and we're going to beat 1, 2, 3. We're going to lower back down and then beat 1, 2, 3. Lower down, lift, 1, 2, 3. So not coming through the full exercise here, just keeping the legs extended up towards the ceiling rather than bending through the legs. Last 3. Lowering back down, we're going to bend through the legs, keeping the knees and the feet glued in together, stacking one hand over the top of the other, and nutcracker. So now the feet are going to be glued in together, but we're going to reach the hands in between the thighs. So we're going to open through the knees, reaching, and then lowering back down. Reaching, and then lowering. Here we want to make sure that we're trying to keep the knees as stacked over the hips as possible, but just opening out to the sides. So what I mean by that is we don't want to be bringing the knees closer in towards the chest as we lift or further away from the chest. Making sure that we're lifting on the exhale breath. If this is too much for your neck here, you're more than welcome to take one hand behind the head or maybe even both, but just think about drawing your hands through your thighs. And 2, 1, lowering back down, hands go down, the feet go back out to hip distance apart, double toe taps, so we tap them down, then lift back up, tapping and lifting, tapping and lifting. We're going to go another 2 and 1. Back into tabletop. Now we're going to be extending through the legs here, lifting through the head and the shoulders, taking your hands behind the calf muscle on one leg and extending through the other. So we're going to switch over and then extend. Inhale and exhale. So finding a lovely stretch at the back of your thighs here and finding strength at the front as well as through your abdominals. 2, 1, then back into our crisscross here. So hands go behind the head, lifting through the head and the shoulders, bending one leg while extending through the other and twisting towards the bent leg. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering back down here, finding that lovely stretch again, extending into the legs, reaching up over your head through your arms. Just finding that lovely deep belly breath here. Making your way out of your stretch. And as always, you may like to move on to another exercise, or you might like to come down into some stretches and then Shavasana, or go on with the rest of your lovely day. Namaste.